Thank you for joining XR Om, which is India's first AR VR focused podcast. And today I'm delighted and honored to have with me Mr. Alexandre Messina, who is an entrepreneur and he was the founder of Pedala, the largest sustainable delivery company for e-commerce in Brazil. He was a consultant at EY and he is currently the head of corporate venture capital and co-head of the Metaverse Squad at Americanas S.A. So, Alexander, really appreciate you taking time and being part of the podcast. So tell me about this Metaverse score. Tell me more about venture capital division and what are the portfolio companies at this point in time?
Thank you for inviting me here, Eddie. It's a pleasure to be in the podcast and speaking with you. The corporate venture capital from Americanas, with aims to invest in startups in pre-seed, seed, or Series A, in the physical stores area, e-commerce area, fintechs, advertising techs, and logistic techs, log techs. So right now I'm doing this, and also I'm the co-head of the Metaverse Squad, where we aim to bring metaverse projects and solutions, especially considering the retail. So how can we sell more with a better experience by doing things in the metaverse space? The thing that will really shape the retail world more, at least at first, more than virtual reality, I see the augmented reality, because we will have more information about the products that we are supposed to buy. For example, there are three main categories of AR that are used in retail that can enhance sales. The first one is about faces. So things that you can project in your body to see how does it fits in your body. For example, makeup, glasses, shoes, clothes. Clothes is a little bit more difficult than glasses and shoes and makeup, but it's going to be like a huge market in the near future, especially when putting a clothes in a augmented reality way seems almost like putting a clothes in the physical store. So one of the main reasons Amazon started with books back like 20 years ago was because books, the way you expect the book to arrive at your place and the way it actually arrives is the same. So if you will not be surprised, oh, this book is too big or too small or everything. And it's different when you buy a chair or a glass or glasses or shoes or makeup, whatever, because you're not sure about how the product will arrive at your place. So if you pick up the book category, it's the one that was more disrupted in the e-commerce sector, because the expectation is equal of the reality. But when you come to other kind of categories, you don't have this. So AR will be very good for you to see how these objects will be in your body. That's the first disruptive way in retail. The second one is to project the image within your environment. For example, I want to buy a chair. Let me see how does it fit in my environment, my room, my office. So I want to buy a refrigerator. How does it fit in my kitchen? I want to buy a TV. How does 30-inch, what does 30-inch mean? So what is the size of the TV? How it will fit in my living room? So this is the second way of AR that it's going to enhance. So fits in your body, the first. The second one, how it fits in your space. The third one is to have more information about products in the physical stores. We call this visual search. For example, you go to a physical store, you are, I don't know, allergic to gluten or other kind of things, or you are in a healthier, in a healthy diet, and you only want to consume some kinds of items. So you just go to the stores with your cell phone, and in the near future with your AR glasses. You look at a product, and then it will like explode an image with more information about the product. That it's the real information, because if you pick up a product, normally the industry just wants to put the information that it fits for them. But how about the for example, the 5 stars that we do have in e-commerce? How does it work in the physical stores products? Like, do people really like that product, or they pay more to be in the best place of the market? Maybe it's not the best one. Does it fit with your healthy diet? So this is the third way AR will disrupt the retail industry. That's at least are the things that we are studying and seeing.
Right. I think, I mean, with the way augmented reality, virtual reality, mixed reality is growing, uh, in the next few possibly years, there'll be a complete upend of how consumers buy things. Earlier there was this trend where we used to go to the physical stores. You had these small shops, you used to go and buy, and the smartphone completely upended that. The smartphone with the applications and e-commerce, it gave you the opportunity and the freedom to sit from home and order anything and everything that you want. You didn't have to step out from your home. With augmented reality, you said, it's got various tracks to kind of completely upend e-commerce space, right from where the entire try before buy conversation, where you can project the product on your body, like your lipstick or your glasses, your shoes, or your watch. And then the second is the project in the environment, like the IKEAs were doing, projecting the sofas. You can test it, see the size fits it, if not, color, and things like that. And the third is annotation of content, where there'll be annotation of all of these content, so you've got more information on the product and you understand why you want it, rather than just impulse buying. Now augmented reality, virtual reality, obviously it's been on for a long time, but then there's this other conversation of us moving or transitioning from Web 2.0 platform to Web 3.0 platform. From the restricted 2D interface to the 3D interface to the metaverse world. Talk to us a little bit more about the metaverse e-commerce play. What is Americanas S.A doing to go into that world where you provide seamless consumer journey of purchasing and experiencing those products? Besides the augmented reality layer, you mentioned about metaverse projects. Would you like to highlight a little bit more on the future of metaverse and the retail? Where does the opportunity lie with for retail as a sector?
Considering this kind of new interface that we are going to shift from 2D to 3D in the near future, in this decade, when Apple released their Apple glasses that everyone is waiting, not the first version, but maybe the second or the third, for make AR glasses really becomes mainstream. It's going to be like a huge transformation of society. So like the transformation that computers did at the 90s and cell phones did since 2007, when AR glasses arrive, there will be the next hardware revolution. And in my point of view, will be the biggest one so far, because they will bring together the cell phone industry, the computer industry, and the television industry, because you can shrink all these devices and put in your glasses, because you'll be able to reproduce this information in front of you instead of having three gadgets for doing this. So I think this will be like a huge revolution in terms of hardware. And then by using this kind of glasses, in my point of view, and seeing like in the point of view of retail, almost everything will be shoppable. So if I'm walking on the street, I see with my glasses a car, I say, oh, cool. Just click in my glass, or I blink, and I add this in my shopping cart, for example. So if I look in a tree, I can buy the tree seeds. So in terms of e-commerce, I think everything will be shoppable. This is one point of view. The second one, speaking about more about virtual reality, I see that we're going to have a big change in websites. Today we have 2 billion websites in the world, and people, at least in terms of companies, websites, I don't see people spending a lot of times on their website, because it is boring. You don't have like so much fun on that. But imagine, for example, if instead of being a 2D interface, very boring website, this website represents all the values of the company or the influencer of the person. So how would be the social media on that on this kind of view? For example, today a person that is a creator or an influencer, he or she has the social network for Instagram, TikTok, and the other like main Twitter and other main social apps. But how it will look like if you put this in the 3D perspective? So if I am fan from Neymar, I just go into Neymar Metaverse and I see all the brands that Neymar, the fan, that represents, and also games that Neymar could likes to play, for example, and then I become part of Neymar way to be. So and why is this important for retail? Because within the Neymar metaverse, I could put a lot of brands. I think Nike sponsor Neymar. I don't know what are the main brands that sponsor Neymar, but I can put the stores of these brands within Neymar metaverse, and I can do an integration with the physical e-commerce for real. And like within Neymar metaverse, I can buy Nike's products that arrive at my place, the physical one, and even I can buy like virtual objects from Nike. So in my opinion, like AR will disrupt in terms of making everything shoppable in one way, and also giving better information about the products that you buy, and therefore enhancing even more the e-commerce sector. And the other way, virtual reality, in my point of view, the biggest thing for retail would be these influencers metaverse that will have brands that they represent, that will serve as a reseller of the brand. And for me, this will be like huge, even more than, for example, they are doing right now of creating stores within Roblox and GTA and Fortnite, etc. Because I think this is very niched. But if you pick up like all the influencer economy and you put a metaverse for each influencer, that which brand that they represent, I see this will be a very big opportunity in the metaverse market.
Right, yeah, that seems to be like a very interesting space. There's so many ways where this could really blow up. We just kind of understanding the language of this metaverse or Web3. Now you mentioned in the beginning of the conversation that you have kind of invested in 3 startups, and obviously, because it's so new. I mean, there's not much reference point, but do you have like an investment thesis going on how to kind of invest into metaverse startups? Because there's so little reference point on what works and what not.
Startups that we are seeing that we could invest in the Web3 environment are the ones that have fit with our business, especially startups that help us sell more or help us reduce our costs. So if you have like a Web3 company that have some projects, have some goals and solve some issues that could enhance our revenue or reduce our costs. In the Web3 environment, for example, doing things similar to the ones that I just said here, of AR for better information about products within yourself or within your environment, AR for visual search to better understand the products and to be more related to some individual diet, VR companies that have this kind of metaverse for influencers or that build a metaverse for companies within these games. So things that could generate for us more revenues like this or reduce costs, it makes sense for us. We don't want to get into the Web3 environment just because of the buzz, because buzz don't pay bills. So we want like to enter in projects that solve real pains, and I don't know, like if the metaverse for influencers or metaverse for companies, they actually solve pains. They are more like entertainment way. But if you see but entertainment sells, so it's kind of revenue. But one thing that really solves pain is about the AR commerce to make the consumer better informed in order to buy a product. And another interesting thing about seeing the objects in a AR way within your places is because you have less go backs, because you don't like how the object will fit at your place or at you, so you have less on that.
Right. So now tell me, I mean, with the metaverse space, I mean, you largely earlier, when you as an investor, most of them prefer to kind of invest into their own geography, but then the metaverse, the concept itself is that it's making geography history. It's the virtual world. So what does your investment this thesis? Do you guys invest only in local startups? Are you guys investing also in global startups? And what do you think about the India as a market opportunity? Because there is some really fantastic AR, VR, MR, metaverse startups here in India.
So we don't have limitations about geography in terms of investing, but one thing that is very important for us to invest is this startup being able to do business in Brazil, because actually we already invested in companies that are international companies. They are not from Brazil, but they offer their product or service here in the country. So because every investment that we make, we first we need to do approvals of concept within Americanas to see how the startup works as a supplier partner from us. And after proving that their solution really have a value aggregated to our business, then we invest. So regardless if the company is from Brazil or is from another country, if they are able to do project in Brazil, and we do a project and the project works very well, we invest in order mainly to scale the project within Americanas. So we have 3,000 stores here in Brazil. We have 50 million people that have our apps. We have 3.5 millions of merchants that accept our payment service. So if we do first at a small scale, we invest and scale the solution for our whole ecosystem, and then the startup will grow and our investment will grow too.
Right. Can you talk to us about some metaverse startups who are really doing exceptional thing in the retail logistics space, aligning with what you guys are doing?
Okay, so there are some startups in Brazil, mainly that I'm speaking. One of them is called More Than Real. They are doing a lot of projects in all kind of different sectors regarding AR. They have a background of this in 2018, so they're very good in giving services. Another one that it's growing very fast is called R2U, which is a company that are mainly focused on 3D rendering objects and linking them within e-commerce websites to make able to the companies to show the objects with in AR. And maybe a third one, Tropics, which is NFT art, the biggest NFT art gallery from Brazil, and they have like a excellent team. They're doing a very great job. There's also a DAO called Enablers DAO. They have they have different, not one approach, but they have like different approach between the metaverse perspective, which they have like a game in the first GTA game that is decentralized, that was pretty cool. And they also have working with metaverse for influencers.
Right. I think there's some really interesting startups doing so many interesting things. It's kind of like almost like the nature of how we do e-commerce or business is going to get upended. I mean, like you spoke about DAOs, decentralized autonomous organization. That itself is so hard to wrap your head around. An organization where a code will actually, algorithm will kind of run it. How and a group of people with consensus will run it. How does that work? How does these NFTs work? How do these virtual assets work at the blockchain and it's so exciting. I think all traditional businesses should look at that approach, because I guess the language how we do business is going to be upended. Earlier everything was very centralized. Now we're just talking about decentralization and interoperability. I really don't know how we're going to get there. I really don't know how ready are we as a society for decentralization or interoperability. But the nice thing is there is that certain group of people actually are having conversation and are building things. So it's a very, very exciting space. If there are startups who want to reach out to you, where do they reach out to you?
they can call me straight on LinkedIn, or they can access our website called ifrocks.io, ifrocks.io, which is the innovation and future website from Americanas. Or they can reach me at LinkedIn, Alexandre Messina. And about the first thing that you said, for me, it's completely amazing, this kind of thing that we are moving right now. This new kind of web. So in web one, you just read things. In web two, you read and you write things. In web three, you read, write, and you own things. So this is very a way of seeing the world as power to the people. At least I don't know if it's a little bit naive, this kind of point of view, but in a world that all the currency transactions are public, and you're not able to hack this kind of things. Maybe it will reduce a lot of money laundering and tax avoidance and everything. So with money being traceable for everyone, I think this will be much more a society. The society would be very better, much better than it is today. But about the thing of power to the people, I'm not very sure about it, if this will happen for real. Because, for example, if you see the cryptocurrency market, even with Bitcoin, it's like, I don't know the exactly number, but more than 90% of the Bitcoins that are in the world, it's on the hand of like 1% of the people, or even less than this. So I don't think even in a decentralized world, this will be like, okay, everyone will be like egalitarian, you know? I think there will be people that will benefit more, as it happens today in the society. But maybe with less intermediaries, for example, a bank to confirm that you send money to someone, with less intermediaries, maybe this money that will be on the table would be more spread within people. I don't know. I I have a little bit of concern about this kind of decentralized solutions, because when everybody is the owner, no one is the owner, at least at my perspective. For example, they say, okay, I will build Uber for Web3. There's no owner, everyone will be the owner. So, okay, if everyone is the owner, who will have the incentive to work more in this project, to make the product better, if I'm not winning with this, you know? And if I win with this and I work more in this product to make it better, then I will be the owner, because I will have more stock options in the product. So I don't think that this will be like a big shift. Otherwise, it will already have the new Uber, the new everything, without intermediaries. But maybe, depending on the sector, this can happen with banks and DeFi, for example. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not like sure about how this works in the near future, but the thing that I know is that it will be very interesting. I think the accessibility of technology will be decentralized. Then I see this in a more egalitarian way. And then I can put my lenses, that there's a company called Mojo Lens that I think is the most advanced today. So today I'm in Sao Paulo, Brazil. I can put my lenses and I see at my window and I look, okay, now I'm in Central Park, New York. I have a view, or I'm in India, I'm in my place. Instead of having my place right now, I will see as I'm looking at the landscape from Central Park, for example. So I can like play video games and like I'm in another country, another planet, another everything. So I can have history classes being like I'm in the Egypt back 2000 years ago. So there will be like a lot more of accessibility. I think maybe this more than decentralization, I think that the word will be accessibility, because you'll be able to offer this kind of privilege that today only the rich people have, of having these beautiful landscapes, of traveling all around the world to get to know countries, of having the best teachers, for example. You can substitute them for AI. So why not pick up the best lectures and the best professors from the best universities of the world and make them a digital twin that make lessons for people all over the world in a VR environment, for example. And then you have this lessons with the professor, and then the second part of the day you get together with friends to discuss about the things that you just learned. So I think that the word from the future, more than decentralization, will be accessibility. And I'm very excited to this future to happen. Let's see if I'm wrong or if I'm all right.
Alexander, really appreciate you taking time, being part of the podcast, sharing your insights. Yes, the future of metaverse looks really bright. It's the possibilities of going beyond, creating businesses, and making your imaginations larger than life and not being restricted by your thoughts. And you said that there are companies working on contact lenses, there are companies working on brain computer interface, and you mentioned that like in the movie Matrix, that's in possibly in maybe a couple of decades you'll be able to upload and download these whatever trainings or learnings that you need. And yes, what I take from this conversation is that yes, there are a lot of people talking about decentralization, which may not happen, but I think at least going towards decentralization, we are creating accessibility, which is so important. And I think accessibility is the key to a better future. There are so many, like there are people sitting, privileged few in the urban areas who've got accessible to internet connections and computers and places where they can go out. But you go step outside of the urban area, there's a huge population which is completely deprived. And possibly with the metaverse, 5G and everything, this will create a more accessible world where people will be able to buy things more, learn more things. So it's an exciting space, because we'll be opening up so much of population who didn't know about this digital world and that opportunity present. So yes, it's a very exciting space. Thank you for taking time and being part of the podcast. Wish you the very best, and I hope that there could be more since this geographical boundaries are kind of blurring out. I hope there's more interaction between Brazil and India. I hope that there's more businesses, there are more cultural points that we can touch base, learn and grow from each other. So really appreciate you taking time and being part of the podcast. And to my listeners, if you like what you see in here, then please press the subscribe button. Until next time, see you guys. Bye bye. Thank you, Alexander. Really appreciate this.
Hey, thank you, Eddie. Appreciate for talking with you. It was a great talk. Let's keep building India and Brazil together.
Lovely. Take care. See you. Bye.